Welcome to Flixx, the podcast covering superhero, sci-fi, and fantasy movies. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me as always, my podcast partner, Joe Hartley. What's up, Joe?
What's going on?
We are members of the Martial Arts InterNetwork, and you can check out our other show, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, every Thursday on the Martial Arts InterNetwork. Just look for the Martial Arts InterNetwork on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Joe, it's showtime. What's going on, man?
Yeah, not a whole lot. A couple days off work. Everyone in my house is sick, so I'm like,
Uh,
love
again.
y'all, but get away from me. Well, here's what happened. So my daughter started off sick, and she's okay now. My wife's been sick for 2 weeks, so she finally just went to the doctor today. I took my son to the doctor yesterday,
Mhm.
and he thought he was worse off than he is, but he just has a cold. And
Okay.
I told him, I'm like, man,
Tough it
take a
up.
little, take some tussin, take a Tylenol, go to bed, drink
You'll
some
be all
water,
right.
you'll be okay. But he any little thing he gets bothered by. So he's doing a little better. He's got a bad cough though. I'm surprised they said his lungs were okay, but I don't know. I felt like that his cough is pretty nasty. But now here's the problem. When he was sicker, I think he got the cough, and now I think it's because he has Tourette's. I think
Hmm.
it's a tick
Mm,
at this point.
mm.
So hopefully he can drop
I
that
didn't.
tick for
I
something
didn't. I
else.
didn't. I didn't know he had that.
Oh yeah, him and my daughter, my oldest, have it.
Yeah, I knew your oldest, but I didn't know your son had it also.
Yeah, it's crazy because it was easy to diagnose him because we
Hmm.
already had dealt with it with my oldest.
Hmm.
So yeah, so he's going through that right now. Other than that, I mean, been chilling,
Do
getting
you? Does your family get sick in the summertime?
sometimes.
Okay. Okay. I was wondering if they were pretty much getting the germs from classmates in school and things like that.
Well,
So
for sure, my wife does because she can see anywhere from 300 to 500 kids a day. So
sure. Is she patient zero? Is she
yeah,
the
more than most of the time,
is she the first to get
most of the
sick
time,
and then it spreads to the kids?
most of the time, yeah.
Hmm.
But then my oldest Ava, she does a class um with special needs kids,
Hmm.
and they're not good at washing their hands and sneezing into their sleeve, or so
Hmm.
she's got to remind them all the time. If they get sick, their parents need a break, so they just send them anyway.
Mm.
So she's told me, she's like a couple times where she was taking care of one of her little buddies, and he just sneezed right in her face, and she had to explain to him, now you can't just sneeze in people's face. Now go wash your hands. Then I'm like, man, oh man,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. Like, I can deal with a lot of stuff. I used to take care of elderly people for a long time, but man, you sneeze in my face like that, I take that personal sometimes.
Well, being martial arts instructors, man, like that has definitely happened to us. Like plenty of times,
Oh yeah,
man, tying a kid's belt and next thing you know, somebody sneezes in your face. And I man, I think like, damn, now I'm definitely going to get sick because I'm right here in this kid's face and he just sneezed in my face.
man, I'm the type of person, like, I will, if somebody's sick in the house, give me some vitamin C, give me some water, and
Hmm.
I'm about to get 8 hours of rest every day because I don't want to be sick. I don't like it. I don't. I knock on wood. I have. I've been avoiding it right now, but 2 weeks. I told my wife 2 weeks you've been sick.
Mm.
Oh, that's too long. I said,
Yeah,
after the
that's
first
a
week,
lot.
I told her to go to the doctors. I said, go to the doctors, man.
Is
So
it
they
just
gave
a
her some medicine. She'll be okay.
okay? Okay, so it's just a viral infection or something like that. It's nothing like the flu or
Yeah,
anything, right?
but the crazy thing is now they're saying uh the doctor also said she thinks she might have some allergies now too,
Mm.
which has never been a thing. So I don't know.
But y'all just got a new animal, didn't you? A new dog, right? Or a new cat or something, right?
No, we don't got nothing new right now.
Didn't you? Didn't you just get something recently? I thought you guys just got a new pet. She just brought something home not long ago.
No, not recently. No, we got a 13-year-old dog, two cats. I think they're around 8 or 9, something like that, because they're brother and sister.
Hmm.
They might be 10. I don't even know. and then we got the lizard. That's it.
Okay, but did you guys bring something home and didn't it? I guess it just didn't stay. I could have swore you just told us not long ago. It might have been on Fist Kicks or Flicks. No.
No, I think we just talked about my animals for the first time in a while.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no,
All right.
nope, not right now.
All
Other than
right.
that, man, just trying to keep everyone together and healthy. And I've been cooking up some dinners and living the life.
What did you think of the trailers? So you've had time to watch the trailers now, right?
Yep.
What did you think of the trailers?
Um, some of them not giving much out yet, so
Hmm.
that's fine. But the ones I've watched look pretty decent. I'm still
Okay.
not sure about this new Superman.
No.
I'm gonna. I don't know. It looks interesting, but sometimes you watch a good trailer and then they showed you all the best stuff in the trailer. I like I like Crypto. I like the one they picked is pretty good. Kind of reminds me of Tom Holland.
The kid that plays Superman, the guy that plays Superman.
Yeah,
Okay.
we need a good Superman movie, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm going sitting here watching these movies, and I'm like, I I'm trying to think like the first two movies now to me are like almost the kind of the best. Man of Steel was decent, but everything else after that, I don't think I've cared
Ooh.
for it. After I'd have to rewatch some of them. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe not, but I can't think of another good Superman movie in a while.
Wow. So I take it you wasn't a fan of Superman Returns then.
Oh, which one was that?
The
Was
one that
that
we're talking about today.
Oh, today? No, it was this was
Oh
not great,
wow.
man.
Oh
It's
wow.
not it's better than the last one, but
It
they
to me
this
it,
was
to me it was
this was a
better
swing
than
and a miss.
to me it was better than the first four movies to me.
Really?
Yeah, Superman the movie, compare Superman the movie to Superman 2 and 3 and 4. This one was better than those to me. And we
I
it's
think yeah, I'm gonna let's when we get into it, we gotta get into it because I got a few issues with this one.
wow. Okay, okay.
No,
Um
'cause it could have been. I think they got the casting right.
mhm.
Lois was okay, but whatever. But there were so many other stupidities, and this definitely isn't connected to the other movies. It can't
Yeah, it
be.
is.
But
It
it can't
definitely
be.
is.
His mom was dead in the last one. Now she's
No,
alive.
and I told you when we first started this, I told you I well, we'll get to this in just a second. We'll
All
get to
right,
it in
what you
just a
been
second.
up to? Because I need
Yeah.
to talk about this.
Same old, nothing much, man. Like I told you, man, the kids had a karate tournament last week. They did better. We got another one. Finally, we got the last one this weekend, up in Ortonville. This is your old instructor's tournament, right?
Yeah, him and
Him and
Serrato.
Serrato. Yeah, this is his tournament. So the kids are going there. We had 8 kids compete last week. So we'll have some more kids. I think we'll have a couple more kids competing this weekend, and then we get a break until June to my uncle's tournament. So I'm looking
Okay.
forward. And like having these tournaments 3 weeks in a row, man, it's exhausting. 3 Saturdays in a row, man.
We used
And
to do a Saturday and a Sunday tournament. We go to
after,
Hastings on a
yeah,
Saturday, come back and hit Grand Rapids on a Sunday. That was the
yeah,
crazy. I can't believe
yeah.
my dad did that.
I can't either, man, because and this tournament was a little this tournament was a little slow. They only had 5 rings, at first it was only 4 rings, and then they added another
Okay.
one because one division, man, the one little kid division was just taking so long. So they eventually ended up getting another ring. Like I didn't get out there till it was almost 4 o'clock, so
Dang.
yeah, yeah. And no adults. There were no adults competing, but
Wow.
there just weren't a lot of rings, and I don't even know if they even had enough judges. Uh, but it was
Yeah,
still,
that
for a
happens.
good, yeah, it was still for a good cause, man. My kids still did better than they did the previous week, so hopefully we'll be even better this weekend also. Guess who? Guess who's listening to this podcast? Champ is listening to this podcast. I'm quite sure he's
Okay.
probably gonna hear this one. What's up, Champ? That's my son. Yeah, so he was like, Dad, so you're a YouTuber. And I was like, I really don't even think of it like that, buddy. Like I really don't, even though the show is on YouTube, and but we're on all of the podcast networks, everywhere,
Yeah,
but
I
I
don't
don't
like
even.
YouTuber because that YouTubers they're building content. We're podcasters.
Yeah, but this is content also, and eventually
It is.
I'm gonna start cutting these up and putting them out more. I just want to kind of build up. I'm really not even promoting the show as much as I will be in the future, because I read that you kind of want on your YouTube page, you kind of want to have a few videos going
Yeah.
in case people like the show and then they want to watch the next one, then watch the next one. So you really don't want to promote it when you got just a few. But for those of you who like the uh the banter between me and Joe, you can check out Fists, Kicks, and Flicks. You spell Flix just like how you spell Flix right here on Superflix, Flixx, and we have over 200 and over 200 and 215 shows of us reviewing martial arts movies. So if you like our banter, and then we have another co-host, Angel Diaz, with us, you can check out that show also. So, but yeah, man. So Champ is listening now, man. I have a feeling pretty soon he's gonna want to have his own show. So I'll probably have to figure out something for me and him to do. And I already know Melissa. She wants to do a show, but she's funny, man. She wants to do a show, but she doesn't really like to talk that much. I'm like, well, what kind of show are we gonna do? I know she wants to do a wine show. She wants us to talk about wines, and I'm like, I don't even. I'm not a big wine person, so it's pretty much going to be her teaching me about wine. Maybe that'll be a good thing. I don't know. I don't know.
Could be
But
interesting.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But that's pretty much it, man. So let's get into this movie, Superman Returns. So first things first, you are correct. You said that this did not connect with the third and fourth movie, and it
I mean,
doesn't.
it
It
wanted
doesn't.
to, but
No,
it's
no, no,
after the
no.
second one.
Is after the second movie. So when they made this movie, they said, you know what, three and four doesn't even exist. Those movies are so bad, it doesn't even exist. So we're gonna put this movie as the number three movie, and they do some callbacks in this
Yeah.
movie. So you know that it connects. Like Lex was in jail, he finally gets out of jail. Um, he
Okay,
knows where
but
the
at the
Fortress of
end of
Solitude
two,
is.
he didn't leave at the end of two.
He didn't even go to jail at the end of two. He
No,
was
I'm saying
stuck.
Superman didn't leave.
No, no. So this happens. They don't show us showing him leave because once
That's what I'm
again, like
saying.
they don't show that. That's just stuff that happens off
Because
screen.
the beginning gives us an explanation, which I'm glad
Yeah.
because you read Superman Returns, you're like, I didn't know he left. Okay.
Right.
So the
But that has
beginning,
a
literally,
double.
I have it
That
up
has
right now.
it has a double meaning also because Superman Returns also was because this was the first Superman movie in almost 20 years. Like I think
Yeah,
Superman 4 might have came out in 86 or 87 or something. This came
that's what
out
I'm
in
saying.
2006. So it's 20 years later. So it has a double meaning, the return. It has a
Okay,
meaning
so
for us as the viewers and also for the people in the movie.
the movie itself starts off. It says, on a doomed planet, Krypton, a wise scientist placed his infant son into a spacecraft and launched him into Earth. We already know this.
Mhm.
We saw the first few movies. Raised by a kind farmer and his wife, the boy grew up to become their greatest protector, Superman. But when astronomers discovered the distant remains of his homeworld, Superman disappeared.
Yes.
Okay, this dude didn't even have a press conference. He didn't tell no. He didn't even tell the woman he loves,
Mm-mm.
like, peace out. I'm going to Krypton.
Well, remember
He just left.
yeah, well, he erased her memory at the end of two. He kissed her,
Yes, I
and,
know.
so she does. I mean, you're right, but people should have been like, "Well, Clark, where did you go?" That's what I was waiting for.
And yes, that was also an issue. But on top of all that,
Mhm.
okay, she didn't act like her memory was erased because she remembers sleeping with Superman.
No,
She she seems to have.
she remembered that she wrote a story, and it was called "My Night with Superman."
Yeah.
That was the story that she wrote in the first movie. So
Yes.
she remembers doing that. That was the night when he came to her apartment and flew around. That was her night with
Okay.
Superman.
Okay. But she also has a memento, a little
But
5-year old memento left
that's
over by
right.
Superman.
But she doesn't know that she didn't know that at that time. So that happened in Superman 2 when he lost all of his power. Remember?
Okay, so Superman leaves. This is the part that's pissing me off right now. You're making my point. Superman leaves.
Yes.
She wakes up pregnant and just assumes it's the boyfriend she's currently with.
Yeah, because she doesn't remember the interaction that happened. So Superman pretty much raped her. Pretty much. I hate to say that, and I hope he don't get
Oh my
banned.
god.
So
It's not
basically,
getting better.
he
It's
he
not getting better, Gene.
he, he
It's not getting better.
when he kissed her at the end of two, it erased her memory. So she does not remember
Yeah, I
going to the
know.
Fortress of Solitude, or she doesn't remember anything. So when he finds out, so he must have found out about his planet right after the events of Superman 2. Is when those the astronomers found Krypton and saw, the debris and everything. So he left to
Okay,
find see who else was around.
okay, but okay, if she didn't remember being with Superman, why was she mad when he came back?
She was upset that he just, like you said, that he just left and did not tell anybody anything. He just
So she
left.
was mad about her crush, not mad that her true love left.
Right. She was, yes,
That's
exactly.
stupid. That's stupid.
But also, but this is what I find was stupid. Nothing bad happened in the 5 years he was gone, because he was gone for 5 years.
Plenty
No
of bad things
catastrophe.
happen, just they don't talk about it.
Right. It's a fire happened. He wasn't there to put the fire out. A car
I
chase,
mean,
or somebody robbed
this
a
was
bank
made
or
in
something.
what 2006. I'm sure
Hmm.
we could find plenty of stuff that happened during that time that Superman could have helped with, but whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, 5 years. Why are you going for 5 years for a planet you think is back, but then it wasn't back? So it took you 5 years to figure out they were wrong. I
Yeah,
don't know, man.
well, I mean, honestly, I mean, we don't know how long. Think about it. It took Superman 3 years
Oh
to
yeah, you're
get
right.
here.
The time it takes to get there and come back. Okay.
Yeah, so it took time, but just to drive there, just to turn back around, that has to suck.
Yeah.
Now, how he had how did he have a ship that took him, like they didn't explain that at all. Did I mean, because when he crash landed, it looked like the ship had was made out of the crystals, but they didn't explain that. If they did, they edited
No.
out the movie, because
I mean,
all of a sudden he
the
has a ship.
movie. So the movie starts off with this old lady talking to someone, and we do figure out it's Lex Luthor. And apparently, he tricked this old lady into getting him out of jail. And
I
then
like that part.
I don't. It was. It
No,
is
no,
what it
no,
is.
no, no. He didn't trick her getting out of jail.
No,
He had
tricked
been.
her into being
Yes,
with him
yes,
after she got him out of jail.
yeah. Well, no, she did not get him out of jail.
She
That's
acted
what I'm
like
saying.
she did.
No, no, no. She, he probably made, was a pen pal with her. The reason he got out of
Oh
jail,
yeah,
the
that makes
reason he got
sense.
out of jail was because Superman wasn't around when her probation came up. He didn't. Superman wasn't around to come testify to keep him
He was
in
called
jail.
to come into
Yeah,
court.
yeah. And since he wasn't around, Lex got out on that technicality since Superman wasn't around. That's why he got
Yep.
out. Now, the reason I like this part is because every iteration of Lex Luthor that I've seen as an adult, Lex has always been rich. He's always had money. He's always had Lex Corp. So this, to me, explains how he had money, because in the first movie he didn't have any money. Second movie he didn't have any money, and the fourth movie he didn't have any money. He wasn't rich. He didn't even have
Yeah.
the company. He didn't have LexCorp yet. So this could have been a way, if they kept this storyline continuing, saying that he had all this rich woman's money and all of her businesses and everything, and then he could have converted that over to LexCorp.
Yeah. And he's got the whole staff and family trying to tell her
Yeah.
he's full of it, but it's too late. He walks out. He walks out and throws his wig, and then you're like, and Kevin Spacey was a good pick for Lex Luthor.
Yes, he
He was a
was.
great
Yes,
Lex
he was.
Luthor. I
Yes.
just don't think he was utilized as good as
Mhm.
he could have been in this.
Oh
Honestly,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I
just
agree
my
with that.
opinion. Then we go to the Kent farm and we see the whole thing's shaking and the spaceship crashes and here's Superman. How do you make sure you always land on the Kent Farm.
I want to know why he crashed. Like you flew all the way there and you turned around. Like why didn't you just have a nice safe landing? Like why did you have to crash back to Earth? And then he was all knocked out and wobbly and everything. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, me neither. Well, if he goes to Krypton, what he wouldn't have his powers.
Yeah, he wouldn't have. No, you're right. He wouldn't have.
So I don't know. Yeah, like I said, it's just a lot that interesting stuff that I was like, okay, whatever. So he's trying to get his bearings back about like this movie had so much potential, and I wanted to see it meet its potential. Like I
Mhm.
said, the actor playing Superman was good. I liked him. The funny thing is, he's stays a part of the DC in Legends of Tomorrow as
Yes,
Adam.
yes. And
A
and
T
and he
O
comes
M.
and he comes back as Superman.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, in the Arrowverse?
yeah. When they had one of the
Yeah,
crossovers, he came back as
yeah, I
Super, and
remember
he was
when
there
they
for
were
a few
doing all the
episodes.
different dimensions.
Yes, yes. The Crisis on Infinite Earths. I think that was the one that they were doing at that time.
Yeah. So
And
um
he was supposed to be this Superman. I believe. I think.
the that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. The funny thing is they made Lex the same Lex as the Gene Hackman Lex, but they
Yes,
took out the hokey BS, which I
yes.
was completely fine with that.
They
So
still
much
had
better.
some. You're right, but they did still have some silliness in it. But I still thought it was okay. It was
Yeah, it
fine.
was fine.
Yeah.
But then so I mean, this part makes more sense now because he goes back to the Fortress of Solitude.
Hmm.
If we're saying this is connected to the other two, which
Yeah.
which apparently he can still get in. And then,
Oh, hold on
like I
before you
said,
continue. Hold on before you continue. Once again, that's the writing, man, because they make it seem like the Fortress of Solitude is just opens, right?
that's
It
free to everyone. Everyone knows how to run it.
now in this, did you watch this new trailer, right, with Superman? And now Fortress of Solitude has doors. Did you see that part?
Yes,
Okay.
I've
That
always assumed the Fortress of Solitude had doors.
Yeah, I didn't because I grew up with these movies and stuff, and he just always just kind of just flew there,
Mm, it makes
so
no sense to me that like if I got a secret base and it's wide open like this, the first thing I'm gonna invest in is a security system of some sort.
hmm.
If you can learn my whole life and my civilization, and you can take down Earth's most powerful superhero just by learning how to use the crystals, like I'm done. That you
Maybe
might
I
as
mean
well. That's like going and saying, okay, we all know about Achilles' heel now, so all we gotta do is tap it.
honestly, yeah, you're right, man. But honestly, it should have been impossible for anyone to figure out what the Fortress of Solitude is. Like it's so if some Eskimo was roaming around out there, he should have just thought that this was the remains of some old mountain or something. Because I mean,
Yes.
you would have walked in there. It doesn't look like anything. It doesn't look like rooms or anything. It just looks like I don't even know what I don't even know what to say. It looks like I can't explain what the Fortress of Solitude looks like. But I wouldn't think that this is a base Superman's base. It's not like it doesn't look like the Batcave. You don't see computers. You don't see any costumes. You don't see anything really of any significance.
The
So.
other thing is,
Mhm.
I don't think I thought only Clark's voice or Superman's voice, Kal-El to be precise, could activate the learnings, the teachings. It doesn't
You
make
would
sense
think.
to me that Lex can just say, "Tell me everything," and that the computer, although it's not really his family, the computer's pretty smart and
Yeah,
sophisticated.
yeah. I mean, they technically should not be speaking English. They shouldn't be able to communicate with
Yeah,
with the humans
there you
that
go. See,
you you know, Lex should have said something. And I mean, even though it's an advanced civilization, Lex should not have been able to just make it work. He's even
Yes.
even if he picked the crystal up, a person would have just looked at it or probably like, I'm about to pawn this. You know, you wouldn't think to put that in the control column. You wouldn't even look at that and think it's a control column or anything like that. You know.
I mean, it gets even crazier than that because literally he's making it seem like these crystals are meant to like create whole new civilization.
How would he? Yeah, I don't. Well, he did ask the computer. He did say, "Tell me everything about the crystals." So, but how would he even know to ask about the crystals? Because I
I
mean, he
don't know.
saw the crystals in the second movie. He went there. Remember when he broke out of jail? He did go there,
Yeah.
but I
He
don't know
said,
how
just
he would
go
have known to
north.
ask
Just go north.
him. I don't know how he would have figured out. Like it could have been a rock. Like how would he have known, that this is what powers this building or this fortress? I don't know, man.
I don't even know. Uh so yeah, so Lex has his plans, and then Clark's gonna make his debut back at the Daily Planet. Apparently, the only person who's happy to see him is Jimmy.
Mhm.
He finds out Lois is engaged and has a kid,
Mhm.
and she's up for a Pulitzer on a story that was basically the world doesn't need Superman anymore because she was pissed off that he left.
Mhm. Um at this point I started to think only because we recently watched the other movies. I'm starting to think, okay, Clark is now a stalker. He is Lois' stalker because he can't he loves this woman, but he knows he
Mm-hmm.
can't be with her. But yet and still he's just constantly infatuated with her. He can't stop looking at her, he can't stop following her around and everything. And you can tell
Mm-hmm.
he's disappointed. But I'm thinking like what did you expect? Like her just to be single forever?
Superman's a lot to live up to.
You would have thought I would have thought that he should have probably took Lois back to the Fortress of Solitude and tried to figure out a way to make her a Kryptonian. I mean, that damn Fortress of Solitude can do everything else.
I mean, yeah, it
I-
took away his powers that gave him back. Might as
yeah,
well.
somehow that they didn't. That's something else that they didn't explain. Right?
Never did.
Go ahead, man.
Um, Lois is on an assignment, and I'm not 100% sure what it is. It's like she's on an airplane.
Hmm.
They're launching a rocket.
Hmm.
The airplane's attached to the rocket, but it's supposed
Hmm.
to
Yeah,
detach
yeah,
after the launch or something. I don't know.
yeah. So you know how you see a rocket ship in Florida, it's upright like so, and then it
Yeah,
takes off. So now
yeah.
I guess their technology was instead of having a rocket like this and take off, we're gonna launch it from an airplane, and it goes into space. So instead of taking off like this,
Oh, okay.
it's already
Got
up,
you.
and it can just take off and go into space.
So it's a big deal, and she's the only reporter on the
No,
plane.
no, all of those people were reporters.
Are you? I thought she said, "How come I'm the only reporter?"
She did say that, and I didn't understand why she said that because the lady was talking
Okay.
to her.
No, it makes more
Um,
sense to have as many reporters as you can get. I mean, good
yeah,
publicity
well,
is good publicity.
yeah. Man, I gotta go back. Because I thought everybody on there were reporters. She did say that, but I thought she said, "Why am I the only local reporter?"
Oh, okay, that makes
I
sense. That
I
makes
think
sense.
that's
Yeah.
what she said. But anyway,
Okay, that makes sense. No, that makes sense. Um, I don't really know how to explain what Lex is doing because he's creating this little world, and
yeah.
then he puts the crystal together. Like he sends the crystal on a mini airplane, and like everyone's watching for it to do something special, and then it
Hmm.
basically just creates an
You
EMP.
you missed what happened.
What happened?
So they shaved a little piece off of the crystal
Okay.
and they put it in the water. It was one of his
Oh,
guys. He put it in the water, and the water
yeah.
started bubbling. So evidently, when these crystals get attached to water, it just creates. the Fortress of Solitude, other versions of the Fortress of Solitude, and that's what happened. He put it in that water. They put it in the
But
water.
why would it create an EMP and take out the whole town?
Now that I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why Superman put the Fortress of Solitude in the middle of
Like
nowhere.
a large
And
amount of energy or something,
yeah,
maybe?
I'm assuming so. But I mean, it
Well,
took out. I mean, it affected everything. Like even the airplane and the rocket, which
yeah,
aren't
well,
on the ground.
that was the issue
Yeah.
because now the plane won't disengage and they're trying to fix it manually. So of course Superman's going to come in. But then this part itself was even weird because Superman does come to help. But I don't was do you think that he was having trouble or he just rusty? Cuz he kind of almost botched the whole thing.
Um.
He
No,
detached the plane,
I think he was trying to. Yeah. Well, I think he did that, and he sent the rocket up,
he sent
and
the
then
rocket up. But then again, they did the same thing they did in the last movie we watched, where people were in space, not dying,
yeah. Well,
because you're supposed to have that
yeah.
plane's not airtight.
Well, Lois should have been dead because she was the only one that was not strapped in, and she was
Yeah, but
flopping around.
they're all floating in space, but people can't breathe in space. There's no air. That's why they wear spacesuits.
Yeah, yeah,
Come on, get your
yeah,
shit together.
yeah. I don't know, man. I don't
That
know.
was crazy. I'm just like, again, it's 2006. Come on. And it was Brian Singer. Like Brian Singer
Yeah,
knows this. Come on.
yeah, yeah.
I've seen many movies of his. He's had good movies. Like, come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
That's an
yeah,
easy thing to fix.
yes.
Anyhow,
And then the
it's
plane to
just little
start,
stuff like that was irritating me.
and the plane starts going down, and then he breaks in, and
Well,
the wings fell
he
off.
grabs it by the wing. He
Yeah,
ripped the wing off,
yeah, he did. He
trying
ripped
to
it.
turn it around.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they were trying to show like maybe he hasn't saved anyone in a while, so maybe he's a little rusty. I mean, he saved the plane, but it
Hmm.
just looked like he was struggling for a minute.
Well, yeah, I don't know why he did that. Why he took the wing off, and the other wing just came off on its own. I was
Yeah.
looking more so about Lois because she was. I was thinking like how because she was hitting her head on the top of the plane. She was going around from front to back, side to side. I was like, how is she
No,
not knocked out?
that plane was thrown around like a rag doll for sure.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is, of all the places he's going to set this plane down, he sets it down in the middle of a baseball field in the middle of a game.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think he had any control of that because the plane was coming down
No,
regardless, and
it
he
was
got
just
in front of
random. It
it.
was, but
Yeah.
you think he did what he could, and then he opens the door and he goes in and she sees him and he sees her and she's kind of like whatever, and he's like, yeah, I'm back, and then she
And
passes out and falls down the slide.
he said this his famous line also that flying is the safest form of transportation or something like that. Statistically speaking, he made that comment again. And
That
then
is one of his.
and then took off. Nobody
Yeah,
was
just leaves
throwing
this
up.
plane.
Nobody was passed out. Nobody. I would have been dead if I was on that plane. I would not have survived that. I would not have made it back to Earth.
Gene would have had a panic attack or a heart
Yeah, that would
attack
have
or
been.
both.
I would have been done. I wouldn't have been able to celebrate. I would have been the guy that's strapped in to the seat dead. Okay, ain't no way I would have survived that. You know.
So of course, Perry White wants the Superman story. Lois wants to continue to figure out what happened with the EMP, but Perry's telling her, "No, you have the most clout with Superman. You need to stay on that." Meanwhile, the person she's engaged to, I guess, is it Perry's son or grandson or something?
Nephew, nephew.
Oh, I thought it was closer than that. Anyhow, they're related. So she keeps telling her fiance to tell her the uncle to back off.
Hmm.
Nah, man, you're not gonna say that to your uncle. He runs the whole place.
You know who
You're not gonna say,
he is also, right? The
what do you mean?
actor, the actor.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He's Cyclops from the X-Men movies, James Marston,
yeah.
and also he's in the Sonic movies.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, so uh they keep going, and what was his name? Rick,
I think
the
so. Oh,
boyfriend.
yeah. I hold on. I have it pulled up already.
I think it's Richard White or Rick White, something like that. And he suggests that he'll take over the Superman story, and Lois and Clark can work on the EMP story.
Yep, Richard White. Yes.
Yeah, Richard White. And so Clark meets Richard for the first time and meets her son, technically,
Hmm.
as we'll find out later, his son. What's the son's name?
Jason, I believe.
Jason. Yeah. Uh, Let's be honest. The second you saw that kid, you knew that was Clark's kid. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest. It's just the way it was. And he has all kinds of issues, of course, which makes
Mhm.
no sense. How would he have all these? He's allergic to everything. He's got breathing problems, asthma. I'm like, nah, man.
He gets it from his mom's side.
I guess. Or maybe that's what happens when you mix a Kryptonian with a human. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, no children, Kryptonian children, had ever been raised in on Earth yet. So maybe
Yeah.
they don't. Maybe things don't manifest right away. I don't know.
If I was Clark, I would have been worried about that other chick that he slept with. The one in the last movie when he went bad. I mean, because he messed around with Lois one time and knocked her up.
Yep.
So it's no telling he might have some other super kids flying around.
That's gonna be the next movie.
Superman did it again.
So yeah, so there's Superman is trying to help with this EMP story. Lois figures out where it is. He's also watching through the window. He's kind of creeping on Lois again,
Yes, he's stalking her now because now he knows she's married or engaged or whatever. She's with
engaged.
somebody.
But Jimmy said every time you bring up the engagement and when they actually get married, she don't want to talk about it.
Hmm.
And he even mentioned that he thinks she's still hung up on Superman. So,
Hmm.
and the fiance does bring it up.
Hmm. And she lies to him.
So, oh, of course, 100% she lies.
Well, but she doesn't know she's lying. He asked her if she slept with him, and she says no. How would she know?
She
He
wouldn't.
wiped her memory away when he kissed her, so
Well,
she
the
definitely wouldn't know.
My Night with Superman, she said, was Perry's idea, not hers.
Hmm.
And then there's this museum robbery, which what were they looking for in the museum?
The
Because they
kryptonite,
staged. Oh, okay,
yeah, the kryptonite
yeah,
because it was in the meteorite or whatever.
that makes
And it's just
sense.
amazing that Lex always knows where to go to get kryptonite.
He's the smartest man on Earth,
I
according
don't
to
see I,
himself.
I don't see why krypton pieces would have made it all the way to Earth. And
Me neither.
even if it did, you wouldn't know what it was. Like how would you know?
He had no
Superman does
idea.
not know that he his weakness is kryptonite. He wouldn't have known that.
Nope. But Lex figured it out.
Somehow. Yeah, he
So,
figured it out.
as a diversion to cover up his museum robbery, his girlfriend Kitty or whatever she is to him
Hmm.
stages her brakes being loose. But see, she thought she was pretending like her brakes were cut, but Lex actually cut them.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't
Which
appreciate that, huh?
no, but the same thing happened with
Miss
Miss
Taskmaster.
Tannenbaum, Tessmacher.
Taskmaster, yeah.
Yeah, because she started noticing Lex was a bit of a jerk, but then still stuck around with him
Hmm.
because he was. I mean, in the other movie, he was going to blow up her family
Yeah,
and not even worry about it as long as he got what he wanted.
and she
I don't
still
know how you
helped him
stick
get out
around with
of
something
jail.
like that.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
still helped him get out of jail.
In this one, he's talking about, creating his own island or whatever in the water because the water is going to take over the world and billions of people are going to die. And Kitty's like, are really billions of people going to die? He's like, yeah. And you could tell she's concerned, but she's not concerned enough where she actually does something about it.
Yeah, because he is going to create more land. That's what he wants to do, and that's what he was doing with the crystals. So he was going to throw the
Yeah, but
crystals
he's
in the
acting
ocean.
like the land because they're saying you think the government's going to let you keep that land, and he's like, well, these are alien land, and I'm going to create alien weapons, and they won't come near my land until they need it. Then they'll start buying it. I don't know. This whole thing was far fetched to begin with.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree with that. He just wants more and more land. That's what he like. That was his main purpose in the first movie,
Yes,
and in the second movie, he wanted Australia. He just wants land.
yeah, man. If you would have given me Lex in his uh Kryptonian kryptonite suit to fight Superman, and maybe I don't know, bring in Doomsday or something, this movie would have been fine. Okay, have a boss fight or two, kick some butt, but there was no big climax. There was no big boss fight. It was just
Him and
stupid.
Lex. Him against
But
Lex.
it wasn't. It wasn't even that great because you know, like I said, he creates a missile with the crystal and the kryptonite, shoots it into the water, and
Hmm.
then it starts forming. It didn't even look like it didn't even look like a new world. It didn't look like new land. It looked like a desolate rock.
It looked like the
It didn't
Fortress of
look,
Solitude. That's what it looked like. Was the Fortress of
but it was made
Solitude?
out of rock. It wasn't really made out of crystal.
Of course it wasn't, because instead of throwing it in the snow, he threw it in the ocean, and it, I guess, created it because it went to the bottom of the ocean and
He
created
said
like, I don't know.
it latches on to an element and then creates more of that element. That's the
Okay.
way Lex explained it. But this one latched onto the water and the rock,
Hmm.
created rocks that were infused with kryptonite.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I understood.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
And then
right.
that is worse. So Superman comes to fight Lex and is
Hmm.
already starting to be weakened. But then, to make matters worse, Lex also has a piece of kryptonite like as a knife.
Hmm.
Just a mess. But I just wanted, I don't know, I wanted a little bit more than that. But we're getting ahead of ourselves on that. Um, like I said, Lois is looking for where the EMP had been. She narrowed it down to the energy of where it was and
Hmm.
went to investigate and comes across the yacht and starts investigating the yacht, and then the yacht starts moving, and the problem is she had just picked up her son,
You know,
so now
yeah,
she
you're
has
right.
the son with her.
That's stupid. Yeah, that was stupid. But you know what, man? I wonder I wonder if they should have wrote Lois Lane as a detective instead of as a reporter, because she does things like, I don't know, do the real reporters do this type of stuff that she does to put herself in harm's way?
In every comic book they do,
I'm no, I mean in real life. I mean,
in every TV show. I don't know. I mean, in a
I-
lot of different TV shows, they put themselves in danger. No, they do because my uncle to get some pictures, man. So I remember he came and to visit one time, and he had a broken arm, and I
Mhm,
asked him what happened, and he was going to take pictures. So I guess there was a daycare,
mhm.
and this is allegedly because I don't want to get in trouble, but this is so long ago, it doesn't even matter. Allegedly, the daycare, one of the kids was brought, like one of the people who own the daycare brought their kids, and their kids were running amok, causing problems and hurting the other children. So this was a big story, I guess. And he was taking pictures, and the
Mhm.
people who owned the daycare chased him to his van to get rid of the pictures. he had to throw his camera in the van and lock it, and because it was one of those that you can push the button to lock it,
Hmm.
and they pushed him down, and he broke his arm when they pushed him down, but he got his picture.
But yeah, but that's a photographer. Like is a
If
reporter
you want the
asks
scoop, if you want
questions.
the scoop,
Yeah, but they're talking to people and they're not putting themselves in the story. And everything she does, she's putting herself in the story to be a witness, as
I'm just
opposed
saying.
to as opposed to asking people, talking to this person and then that person. And I don't know. Like imagine, remember when Kwame Kilpatrick got into that situation here in Detroit?
Uh huh. Yeah.
Like I didn't see the news people sneaking into his house to look at a party or hiding in his office downtown. Like you couldn't get through security to do those things.
But
You
they
know,
they're looking. They'll look for sources and
yes, and they'll
probably.
talk to them. But
But they
she,
gotta. You gotta get a good source. Make sure what they're saying is real, is right, and then you gotta either keep that source a secret, or if that source is
yes,
okay being a
yeah,
source, probably got to pay them.
yeah, yeah. But once again, like I don't know, man. Like some of the stuff that they have Lane doing, it just seems a little far fetched to me. Uh,
I
um,
agree.
I don't know.
Well, to that, she, like I said, you go to where this EMP, you got your son with you, and you walk onto a boat.
Yeah,
You walk
yeah.
onto a random yacht. You don't know
Hmm.
this yacht, and then the yacht starts
That's what I'm
moving
talking
with
about.
you and your son on it. And then who walks out but Lex Luthor?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like a person probably would have been yelling at somebody's name, calling hello, hello, hello. Like, would you really walk in and be snooping around,
Well,
or was
she
she?
did say hello a couple times, but then
Yeah,
she started snooping around because
but
that's who
that's
she
now
is.
called breaking and entering. You can't just
100%.
enter. You just can't enter somebody's personal space in their house, their boat, or whatever, their office.
And she did ask Lex to turn the boat around, but he was like, nah, we're good.
Why would he do that? He knows exactly who she is.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, because he would kind of
Well,
be
and
like
then
Lois Lane. Like, what are you doing here? What the hell?
that's exactly how he felt.
Yeah, he was brushing his teeth or something, right?
He was. He just, why are you
Yeah,
on my boat?
yeah, exactly. Like, imagine you go downstairs in your own house and somebody's in your living room. She's lucky she didn't get shot.
Yeah.
He would have had every right to shoot her at that point.
Okay, but she walked into that boat, said hi a few times, and then Lex pops out, and then his goons.
Yeah,
Why didn't he have security at the beginning of that boat?
yeah, yeah. She shouldn't even got that far.
But well, and she should have never went there with her kid. Like, come on.
No,
Now her and her kid are trapped on this boat,
and especially
and then
That's the night she's about to get her Pulitzer prize.
yeah,
She's about to get an award. She's on her way to an award ceremony. Why she would she stop there?
because she don't even care about that award. She said she didn't want to get an award for a story
The
about
Pulitzer.
uh, Superman missing.
Yeah.
Um, the other interesting thing that happens on the boat, Lex is showing her the kryptonite, and doesn't really. He thinks the kid's affected by it,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't really kind of show whether he is or he isn't.
No.
Because
And
he
I
was
think
already kind of sickly, so you
yeah.
couldn't.
But see, that was the point of at the beginning of the movie because they didn't want us to know that. So by making
Yeah,
we already know the kid is a little sickly or has allergies or something. We already know that. So that was a way to throw us off because if that happened in the movie, that would we instantly would have known like, oh, he's sensitive to kryptonite,
yeah.
So
No,
this
I
kind of
agree.
could kind of throw us off a little bit
Yeah,
and
but
make us
then
wonder.
then 5 minutes later he throws a piano, so we already know
Yeah.
now. Okay,
Yeah.
we know who you are now.
Yeah, that was the big reveal. That was the big reveal.
And the messed up part about this is, again, I don't know why Lex is even keeping her and her kid. But the guy that's watching them gets mad and he starts attacking her like he's gonna kill her.
Yeah, he should have. I mean,
He
he
didn't have to
should
do
have
that.
because he slammed her head down, right? Didn't he slam her
Yeah.
head down?
Well,
Like
he like pushed her, but
she should have been
and
knocked out.
she had sent a fax to the Daily Planet, giving her coordinates and saying send help. But which, oh, by the way, her fiance can fly a plane, so
Hmm.
he runs after them.
Hmm.
Clark is supposedly running after him as Superman, but then he's got a bunch of other disasters he's got to stop.
Yeah.
So he takes his sweet time getting there, which I just thought was, I didn't get that either. This dude, these people, okay, there's enough time goes by where he has to stop a couple of people from falling. He has
Hmm.
to grab a couple of cars that are falling.
Hmm.
The Daily Planet falls. He has to stop that and put it down. Like meanwhile, the fiance has time to fly to the coordinates,
Hmm.
get on the boat, save his fiance and quote unquote child,
Hmm.
not only to have the boat sink and capsize
Hmm.
and go under and almost die, and then Superman finally makes it there to save the day.
You didn't wonder how Lois knew where she was? She knew the coordinates. How did she know the coordinates?
I don't know. That is weird.
She she knew exactly where to tell them because when before they even left, like she was walking around. They were at the dock. She didn't know where they were going,
No.
and then next thing you know they were captured. She had no. I mean, I don't know unless I missed something. I don't know, but she should have known the exact location as to where to send someone to rescue them.
Was it like a nautical instrument or something that she ran? I don't know.
Eh, I don't think they would have hit her in some place like that where she can control the boat to let her know where the coordinates where they were at. But who
The
knows?
funny thing is when the husband and Clark, or the husband, the fiance and Clark are trying to get into her computer, and he's like, "Oh, it's password protected," and
Yeah.
he's going, type it in the kid's name, type it in his name, and Clark looks over and says, "How about Superman?"
Hmm.
The
That
one girl who's obsessed with Superman. I wonder what her password is.
that might have caused an argument later if she hadn't almost died.
I guess. Cause an even
I
bigger
mean,
argument.
he would have been like, was there ever anything going on between you two? She doesn't remember. She could have just said, "Well, I just had a big crush on him." That's my.
Can we also talk about Harold from Harold and Kumar
Yeah, yeah,
being
yeah. Go
like
ahead. Yeah,
one of the goons, but he didn't. Did he ever talk?
I don't think so. I think this is before he was ever even known. Really, I
I
don't think
know, but
he.
it was just funny. He just seemed out of place. He
Yeah.
just pushed a few buttons. He just
Hmm.
stood there. He didn't look tough. So
He didn't do
are you
anything
a
silly or
no?
anything. Yeah.
I was waiting for him to or say something. He was just there.
Yeah, he was just there. He was like it seemed like this was like one of his first roles.
Um. So yeah, he shoots the kryptonite with the crystal, creates his own little island or whatever.
And
Uh.
and Lois knew what was going to happen because he told her what he was going to do.
Yep. So after Superman saves everyone, he gets them on the plane, Richard's plane, and Richard says it's too choppy to take off. So Superman's like, "I'll point you in the right direction." He throws the plane, and they take off, and then he runs to go take care of Lex. And I don't know what happened. Well, Lois was knocked out.
Yeah,
So
she
when
was
she
knocked
wakes
out.
up, she
Once
asks where
again,
Superman is.
she got cracked in the head. This girl should have had some type of concussion by the
She
end of
should have
this
had
movie.
some serious brain damage.
Yeah.
Um, she asks where Superman is, and when she finds out, she tells her fiance, "We got to go back."
Yeah.
If I was that
Because
fiance, I'd be like, "I'm sorry, your boyfriend's having some issues, but No, thank you.
Well,
Like,
because she knew that the crystals were attached to the kryptonite, and she knew what was going to happen.
this is where, like I said, I would have liked to see a little bit more of something, because the big conclusion here is, the whole place is made of kryptonite. So Lex and his goons beat up Superman, and then Lex stabs him with some kryptonite, and he falls off the ledge or a waterfall. I don't even know what it is. And I
Hmm.
mean, that was your boss fight.
Yeah,
Could have
yeah.
been a
I didn't
little
even
more
think.
exciting. Is all I'm
I
saying.
didn't even think it like that. I didn't think of it like that.
That's all I'm saying. When you watch these movies, like when you're watching Endgame,
Hmm.
okay, at the end of that movie, we're gonna get, we're gonna get Thanos, and we're
Hmm.
gonna get I forget his group, whatever they're called, um, Black something. Anyhow, they're gonna have a big finale fight, and everything's gonna go this way, and Captain America's gonna hit the hammer and the shield together and say, that's the kind of stuff you wait for. And at this, you just get Lex Luthor shanking him
Yeah,
like he's in prison.
I don't think you really could have had a fight with Superman and Lex Luthor because Superman would
But
have
in the
killed him.
comics, they have some good
Oh yeah, yeah, you're
fights.
right. You
Like
are
they
right.
have some. Okay, so give us that.
Yeah.
Give us something like that. Have him, like I said, having Lex Luthor bring Doomsday to life would have been perfect.
Yeah, well, but they did that in the Man of Steel, and that didn't really work out well.
No, it was not great.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not Man of Steel. Batman vs Superman. That's what it happened in. But that's not how Well, that's not how Doomsday comes to Earth anyway. In the comic, he's from outer space.
Yeah,
So
Krypton did a good Doomsday.
yeah,
I don't know
you
if
said
you
that
if you
before.
watched
You
up
said
that,
that before. I saw
and
I
a good
saw
Brainiac.
I saw the first episodes of Krypton. I think I almost saw every episode of season one, and I didn't finish. I
It,
didn't get back to it.
it was one of those shows that had really good potential, and really could have done a lot with it, and then it just, just like everything that happens on sci-fi, if you get 3 seasons out of it, you're lucky. Which pisses me off, because I've seen some really good shows on sci-fi that I've
Mhm.
really enjoyed, and they if they barely make it past 1 season. So
Well, I heard a lot of people like Krypton, and also the Pennyworth show. Also, was that on Sci-Fi also
I think so. Yeah.
or FX? I think it might have been FX. My bad.
No. Yeah. I think that was it. But yeah, some of that stuff. They don't get it. They can't keep it going. They don't have the budget, or they don't get the viewers. So I don't know. So they come back. Uh, jump in the water. Lois and Richard help save Superman. They actually end up taking him to the hospital, which I thought was kind of crazy. Um,
Yeah.
and they got Superman's suit off.
Well, no, no, no. Hold on. You kind of skipped ahead a little bit. When Superman goes back, he picks up the island that Lex created with the crystal, and he takes it to space.
Oh
And
yeah,
I'm thinking at this time, like he should not have like this whole thing is made out of kryptonite. Like, how is he able to touch? I mean, I know that kryptonite is not exposed, but I just thought just by him getting close to the kryptonite, it would have weakened him because the kryptonite wasn't exposed when he was on top of it when he got weak.
he can fight being exposed for a few. I don't know the limit,
Okay.
but
Well, I mean, if that's the
Lois
case, he shouldn't
pulled
have
a
been
piece of
weak.
kryptonite out of him.
He's
Lois pulled a piece out of him, but when he
Yeah,
goes to the hospital later, he still has some in him. So I don't
yes,
know.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So I was so that's what so between that and also just the whole island being being connected to kryptonite, I didn't think he would have had enough strength to be able to take this damn island all the way up to space and throw it away, just launch it away, and then he falls back down to Earth,
Do you
and
think
then that's when
if they would have done another movie after this, they would have said like that chunk of whatever would have been the new Krypton?
I don't know what they would have done with that. I don't know. I have no idea.
I was wondering if that's what they were looking to do if they did another movie, but
But you're right. There was no big. Superman actually lost his fight.
more or less,
Yeah, because after Lois and her family come back, after they turned the plane around and came back, they found him in the water, and she just jumps in the water, and she
yeah.
saves him and brings him back to the plane, and then that's when she takes the little piece out of him, and then he eventually is able to fly up to the sun, get some power, and then go back. Now, did you think that he thought that he was about to die? The way he
Yeah.
said goodbye to Lois, I think he was like, I'm probably gonna have to sacrifice myself in order to save everyone else. And she mentioned that he did not say goodbye when he left for those 5 years. So he
Oh
made a
yeah.
point to
So
say
if I'm
goodbye
about to
this
die,
time.
I'm gonna say goodbye this
Yeah, I
time.
better say goodbye this time because I don't want her mad at me again. In case
Good
I don't
job.
die and come back. So yeah,
It's still not good enough.
so yeah, so
So,
he crashes back to Earth, and then they find him again and take him to the hospital.
but he's at the hospital and he has no Superman suit on, no glasses, and you're still telling me nobody knows this is Clark Kent? Come on.
No, no, nope, nobody realized it, and it was kind of funny. Like they were trying to pierce his skin, they couldn't. They couldn't pierce. Now they had the piece of kryptonite. I'm surprised they didn't use that to help them. You know.
Uh, it was they not used to dealing with an alien being. But the crazy thing is, so Perry White's creating a story. Superman's dead,
Hmm.
just in case.
Hmm.
And Jimmy even tells him that's messed up, and he's like, "You got to be prepared." Uh, Everyone's outside the hospital gathered around, and then Lois shows up with the kid and goes in without her fiance, and
Hmm.
he's totally fine with this.
Hmm.
That takes a bigger man than me because I'll be like,
Yeah.
"Why are you going? Why are you going to check on your boyfriend? What's wrong with you? I'm your
Well,
fiance now."
don't you think she should have questioned, like, what did you do? Like, how is he connected to you? She had to been thinking that because, like you said, the little boy he threw the piano at one of Lex's goons and killed
Mm-hmm.
him. He killed
Yep.
that guy when he did that. So now she has to be thinking like there's some type of connection. Did we see anything else with this little boy? Any other powers or nothing like that? Okay. So they just
No,
kind of teased it.
but no. What I was wondering is, so she goes and whispers in his ear. She don't say what
Yeah,
they
she
don't,
does. You're right.
but we assume she's telling him that's your son.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, if this little boy is his son, she can whisper all she wants, but he probably heard that because
Yeah.
she
He did.
whispers, she lays a nice kiss on Superman,
Hmm.
and then the boy kisses him on the forehead. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, did he hear what she said?
I think the little boy kind of sensed it, and that's probably why he wanted to go
Oh
into the
yeah, because
hospital.
when they were looking for him in the water, the boy knew where he was.
Yeah, yeah, he knew where he was, and also, the little boy was conscious when Superman saved them because they were in the ship, and he landed on
Yep.
top of the ship, and he broke them out because they were about to die. They were
Oh
goners.
yeah.
Lois was knocked out, and that room was filling up with water. And Superman came in the right amount of time and opened the door and got them out of there. So the little boy was saved by Superman. So he probably felt something toward him.
Yeah, and he was checking out the super suit
Hmm.
while mom was making out with her boy. I don't even know.
But she should have
It
questioned. She she
was
she
so
she
weird.
definitely should have questioned what the hell happened.
She's too obsessed with him. She don't care. She was glad it happened.
Yeah, but she that's one memory you think she want to have.
This is a Jesus moment, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
It was I don't know. This whole thing was just odd, a little creepy,
Yeah,
but
because he kind of just wakes up after that, and he doesn't say anything to the hospital staff. He makes sure he got the hell out of there before they sent the bill, and
right?
he got he got out of there, and he went to Lois's house, and he snuck in to see the boy. You
Well,
know,
she was outside smoking, so she asked him if we're gonna see you around, get some of that child support or something. And
yeah.
then
But well, he started reciting to the boy as the boy was asleep, and he started
yeah,
reciting what his dad said to him. That's what he was
which was
saying.
yeah from the fortress.
Yeah.
The last part we see Lex Luthor and Kitty stuck on an island somewhere. They don't really show, and
Nope.
somehow they
They're
still
gonna.
have a helicopter.
They should die because they are in the middle of nowhere and they only have 6 coconuts. I'm assuming that this island is in the ocean. No
Yep.
fresh water. Kitty even tells we only got 6 of those. They're goners unless they get rescued. I wonder what happened to the rest. What happened to the rest of their guys? I forgot what happened to those guys.
Lex probably left them there.
Ah well. Anyway, and that's pretty much the end of Superman Returns. So Joe, you did not like the movie. What grade would you give it?
I mean, it was better than 4, so I'd give it a better grade than I'll give it a C minus, man.
So okay, what did you give the other movies? 1, 2, and 3.
1 and 2, I was in the A and B range, and
Okay,
then 3, I think was a B minus.
so you like 1, 2, and 3 better than this?
Yeah,
I don't like the writing in 1, 2. Actually, 1 through 4, the writing was horrible. The story, the idea of it, the story was good, but I did not like the writing. I think this writing was better, so I'm going to give this movie. I'm going to give this movie a B minus. I didn't,
yeah,
I didn't,
that's
I didn't, I didn't dislike this movie at all. It was watchable. I didn't even think about what you said. Like there really was not a big bad fight, which there definitely should have been. In all of these Superman movies, I'm assuming like Lex is almost like the Joker with Batman. He is typically the number one villain of Superman. Lex Luthor is the number one villain, but you got to
right.
have somebody for Superman to fight, whether it's um, Amazo or Doomsday, like you said. He has to have somebody where he can have a final fight. Um, and with all of these movies, I really don't think they really got a chance to really establish Lex properly. This
No,
movie did fine with him, but I wanted to see him be the inventor and have the Lex Corp, or even Lex.
yes,
At one point in time, Lex becomes president of the United States, which
yes,
is almost like art imitating life right now. It seems like,
right. 100%,
but
100%.
yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, it was watchable to me. I wonder what the plans were for this movie. If they had any plans of because this came out a little bit before. Well, did it come out after? Did it come out after Batman Begins? I wonder if they plan for this to cross over with the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But this could have been the start of their universe if they wanted.
Could have been
Yeah.
because,
All
like I
right.
said, the character they picked good people
Mm-hmm.
for the most part. I mean, they could have done better, Lois, but whatever. But
She
for the
she
most
reminded
part,
me of Rachel McAdams. That's what she reminded me of. I
that's
kept
what I
feeling like
thought it
that.
was at first. I had to look it up, and it's Kate
Yeah,
Brownsworth. I was like, what?
yeah, yeah. She reminded me of Rachel McAdams. But she wasn't. Um, so next week, let's do the Batman movies. We're gonna start with the old Batman movie. Batman, I think it's 68. Do you know where we can find this movie?
I'm looking it up right now, just before we talk about it.
I hope
Um,
I hope we're able to watch it. It should be on Max, but I'm not sure. But it might be on Disney Plus also. Disney might own the rights because Disney does own the rights to Batman on television. So, and this is the TV movie. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's on YouTube. I'm not sure. I saw somebody else did a review of that movie also. I didn't watch theirs. I saw it on YouTube. Someone else also did a Batman TV movie.
1968 or 1966?
I really don't. I think 66 is when the series came out, but I thought the movie came
Yeah,
out in 68.
I'm not seeing the movie right now.
No? Let me
It says,
see.
where can I watch the old Batman movie?
And
Looks
that's the
like
problem.
Prime.
It's on Prime?
Looks like it.
Okay. Well, let's do this. If oh yeah, it's on yeah, it does say 60. It's on YouTube. But I think you gotta buy
Is
or
it?
rent it. Yeah. I think you gotta buy or rent it on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. So we might have to figure that out. At least we know where we can see it somewhere.
I think that'll be funny to watch.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be hokey. We can't take it as a serious movie. Um,
That doesn't bother me. I mean,
so we'll go through the Batman movie. So we'll start with this one, Batman 68, and then we'll do the 1 through 4. I like the first Batman movie, um, Batman 89. I like that one.
yep.
Batman Batman Returns. That was I was kind of let down with that movie when it came out back in the day. I was kind of let
That the
down
one
because
with Danny DeVito as the
yeah, and
Penguin?
yeah, and the reason why I was a little let down with that was because um they had Penguin as like a monster, and that was never the Penguin that I remembered ever. I never
I
seen
know.
Penguin like that. Like Penguin was always a gangster, and he wasn't like this. And I didn't
Well,
understand why he had a
they just
circus
took it in a
gang.
different. They took it in a different direction.
Yeah, he had a circus gang. I'm like, this circus gang should have been with Joker, not him. I just didn't get that. And then you had the Max guy. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
yeah, and then Catwoman. So there was a lot of stuff going on in this movie, but I still liked it better than Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. So and I have not seen those movies in a long time. So this should be interesting. These next few movies. So hopefully I have a different perspective of the movies because I'm a little bit older now. So maybe I can find something
Well,
enjoyable.
we'll see.
You said no or you said well.
I said we'll see.
Okay. You got anything else, man? Any closing remarks?
No, I'm good.
All right. Make sure you guys check out our other show, Fist Kicks and Flicks. This week we discussed Creed 2, right? We did Creed 2, right? And next week we're
Yep.
gonna do Creed number 3. So if you like martial arts movies, definitely check out Fist Kicks and Flicks. You can check us out on YouTube or any other podcasting apps. All right, everyone, stay safe, stay strong, and stay super. Man, I have a hard time saying all those S's like that together, man. Stay super. We'll holler at you next week, and I will play our music.